Happy Friday. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center Live, our Star Trek Weekly Edition. This week we will be covering, amongst other things, the latest episode of Star Trek Picard, which I found it very gripping. I didn't want it to end. That's how good I thought this episode was. In a few weeks, once we get towards the end of the season, I've been chatting back and forth with one of the writers on the show. And as soon as it's not possible for him to accidentally give up spoilers, I'm going to get him on the show. But every time I finish the episode, I text him and I'm like, wow, this is really great. And he says it's getting better. So let me go ahead and get right to it and bring in someone who's out of dress code just with that hat on its own. But hey, how you doing, Brian?
I thought I'd double it up with the football jersey too. I am doing fantastic. Yeah, I kind of agree with you 100% on that quick synopsis of this week's episode. Very gripping. Wanted it to be longer. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start, but I can't wait to talk about it for you, man.
Yeah, it was intense. I mean, the intensity between Captain Picard, or Admiral Picard, and Captain Riker was different to see, simply because he was in command and he was like, they didn't know whose advice to lean on, pretty much, but they were both ended up being wrong. And then when I watched the Ready Room, I saw the snippet from the next episode where they're just floating in the middle and just falling deeper into this nebula, and all of a sudden these bright lights come out. So I'm wondering what the hell that is. This episode brought, like I said, they continue to bring back nostalgia in a way that does not kill the show. We find out a little bit more. I mean, just throughout the previews and stuff, we know who the enemies are. I mean, we know Laura is in there somewhere. We know who Vatic is. We knew who she was before. We don't know why she is, but we know.
I think we got a deeper. I think we got a deeper reveal in this week's episode.
That's the one I didn't know about.
Yes, that's the one that's like, oh wow, had I known. I'm excited, but now I have a direction for my excitement, and I think I'm starting to speculate a little bit, and I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping we'll get to talk about that a little bit tonight too. So
yeah, the surprise enemy that was not in any of the previews and that was not revealed at all until this episode coming up was the return of the changelings who have not been seen since Deep Space Nine. If I'm correct.
Founders. Oh,
the founders,
man.
yeah. And the way they introduced them, you have the story right now that's taking place in two different settings. One of those settings is the USS Titan A, where Picard and that crew and Riker are basically spinning to their death, and the ship's just falling apart. It's not really falling apart, we find out, because it's being sabotaged. The whole time it's being sabotaged. On the other end, you got Raffi and you have the newly reintroduced Worf. Trying to figure out, because these stories are connected, trying to figure out who stole this stuff, what they're doing, what the distraction is, and they run into a changing as well. And at the same time, these things are revealed. So you got a changing that they end up killing. Spoiler alert, guys. I probably should have put spoiler in the thing, but hey, whatever. But there's another changing on the ship that ends up continuing to sabotage them. And I thought it was cool when the interaction between Captain Shaw and Jack Crusher, he's like, how do they keep finding us? And he's figuring out that they're being, we already knew that they were being traced somewhere. I thought when I saw the blood, I thought they were going to say that it was something in his blood, Jack's blood, that they had implanted with one of those raiders or whatever. But no, they're intentionally screwing up the trail of the ship, and you got to see a changeling, and but since we saw Lore, we already know Lore's involved and he's a machine. And from what that changeling, the changeling on Raffi's end of the universe said is, it's already over for you guys, the solids. So I'm thinking, my theory is that they have linked up, that Lore is running these changelings. He's like a cult.
Kind of like that the Next Generation episode where he takes over the Borg Collective.
Yeah. Yeah, he just basically did this because they even gave you enough details to tell you that that they've made peace with the founders. But the reason why, and they'd known about this terrorist sect, but the only reason why they didn't do it is, and it made sense because it's the same reason why that they saw each other during the Raman and Earth War, but it would have destroyed the Earth Vulcan alliance if they would have seen what the Romulans looked like earlier on. There wouldn't have been a federation. So
shout outs to our boy Odo too. Like,
yeah, he got a
man
mention.
of honor.
He got a mention. Yeah. He got a mention by Worf. I have an old friend of mine once told me about these guys, and so he told them about the linking. Odo's still alive in canon, even though
absolutely,
Renee is no longer with us. So
he lives on forever in the Great Link. No, but
he never really needs to leave.
You brought it up. You brought it up last week, and I did watch the Ready Room episode for this week too, and they touched on it as well. But you brought up Michael Dorn. Okay, so the kind of opening reveal we get of this episode, he's listening to the same opera that Picard's listening to in First Contact, and I'm like, oh, hello, I love that song, Berlioz or whatever, and she comes up on him and basically gets disarmed and within seconds. But from that moment on, you get that Worf. I was expecting it too, Worf, son of Moog, but then he starts dropping names. And it's like one of my favorites was that son of Roshenko or whatever. He brought in that part of the family. Cool. The House of Martog, the bane of the freaking House of Duras. I was like, yes, dude.
Slayer of Gowron. Did he kill Gowron? Yeah, Slayer of Gowron.
Yeah, he killed Gowron.
House of Martog. So, I mean, he would the whole list.
And would you like some chamomile tea?
I thought that was hilarious.
I am Worf delivery. I was like, bro, get there.
Well, it's like remember in First Contact where Alfie Woodard's character, when he's coming up the ladder and she looks at him for the very first time, I am a Klingon. He just says, I know you. I know what your questions are. That's here's my answer. I'm a Klingon. But his sense of humor throughout the whole thing was funny. When she says, well, what are you going to do? Just come in beheadings on Tuesdays? He's like, beheadings are on Wednesdays. But so he's basically working with Starfleet as a subcontractor. So he's like the CIA. He's like, he's doing things that they can't be involved in, but they need to be involved in. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that. That side of the story was dragging for me. And it really, as you see the sides coming together, we still haven't seen Geordi yet. So
and then the chemistry between Michelle Hurd, Rafi, and Worf is freaking amazing. Like just watching those two play off of each other. Like I'm enjoying watching Rafi on screen now because it's like, wow, all right, cool. Yeah. She's connecting with one of those legacy characters, and this is really interesting and intriguing. So like
because before she was annoying the hell out of me, and
kind of and it was just like, where are you doing? Like you're kind of like the junkie on the show or whatever. Like is that your thing? No,
the struggling. I thought I was watching Lethal Weapon. I thought I was watching Riggs and
Martin Riggs.
For a while. And then again, Worf is Martin. But no, the most compelling thing about it was just the intensity between everybody on the Titan. I mean, when you see, they showed a lot more blood in this episode than I'm used to seeing. When you see Shaw bleeding
Captain went down, bro. Like he was spitting up blood. His teeth were all messed up. Like.
And then he's like, you got to send it. You take us out of it. So he just hands the ship over to when I saw the previous scene of that, I'm like, dude, you just gave up your ship. Then I realized, okay, this guy's about to die. So and when he's in there and that doctor is, trying to things have changed in 20 years. I don't have time to play you. And you knew right then the cliche was going to come around where they were going to need her old school techniques because she's still performing medicine. She's still, a doctor. She's not a doctor for Starfleet. So is he. That's what people don't realize is Jack Crush is a doctor too. He's probably got more medical expertise than everybody else in there. But I like the way they started changing things around to where everybody has a reason to hate him because he's got them in danger, at least allegedly. Okay, I got a question here. The Titan wasn't by accident then. If there's a changeling already on that ship, then they either got aboard no, because they didn't transfer any cargo from the Ilios or whatever that ship was. They didn't transfer anything but people to
just space dock to out there. Dude, it's kind of like, okay, so here's the deal. Remember the Deep Space Nine episode, The Search?
Yes, parts 1 and 2.
Oh no, not The Search. Oh, it's the one where they get stuck in a planet, like a gas planet, and they're trying to find the changeling on board their ship.
Oh, and they end up killing him, and he says, "We're everywhere." That one?
Yes.
That episode? Yeah.
Yes. It wasn't The Search. It was.
Yeah. So
Which
I
one
get
was
what you're
it?
saying.
Like,
I know what you're talking about, because if you look up the appearances of the changeling,
it was the one where Odo actually broke the rule and killed the changeling.
He killed him because it was on the warp coil. He got him on the he pushed him into the warp coil, and he reaches forward to them and he whispers in his ear, and then they're like, "What did he say?" And he says, "It's too late. You're too late. No, you're too late. We're everywhere." So even if the Titan wasn't a random ship, I guess they had changelings on every ship then.
Well, they're coordinated. It's kind of like the episode where they go back to the Earth, and O'Brien's the changeling or whatever, and it's like, we're everywhere, Captain.
You think there would be a way to detect him now, since the majority of the founders are on, they are at peace with Starfleet, but I guess there's not.
Even when they weren't at peace, they still had people out there. And even if they had people out there, if you know the changeling lore, there'd be a lot of changelings that would not know that.
Oh, like Odo. Odo was separated from the link. Odo was not part of the link.
Odo was separated from the link and didn't know. So, like, all those ones out there that they sent out there for exploratory purposes, I'm telling you, like, there's just so much more that, oh man.
But so this exciting. This is an extreme sect that doesn't accept peace with solids, is what this is. And so in my opinion, they've linked up with Lore, who obviously is not solid. And he's probably corrupted them in some way. And I think I don't want to guess, but I think what's going to end up happening is there's still some data left in Lore, and that's how this is going to end. But I'm enjoying this ride. I mean, the beginning, how it begins is just intense. Like I said, it's just an extended version of Wrath of Khan. I mean, it's just like you're still in it. We've been in that nebula, it seems like, for a year now. I like the Vulcan, the bald Vulcan, the science officer.
I'm telling you, we're getting the seeds for their next set of live action shows because. I mean, after Discovery is over, I mean, I could see them downscaling a little bit, but with the popularity of this run that I feel like they're going to get, and the introduction of all these younger versions of legacy characters, we're totally getting that next generation. It's happening.
Let me say hi to the chat real quick, because I've ignored them up to this point because I was excited about this episode. Had to work, have a good stream. All right, yes, it was great this week. How you doing, Vince? All right, how you doing, Jared? Yeah, there's still a lot more, and plus there's some non-Picard issues we got to talk about too, but that are not the end of the world. The internet has made them the end of the world.
We also talked about whatchamacallit, that they Beverly and freaking Captain Picard talked about it. I mean, what do you think about Beverly's reasoning for keeping him a secret?
Absolutely wrong. Absolutely 100% wrong. It's the same reason why I didn't agree with Carol Marcus doing it, but at least Kirk knew about his son. He went along with her wishes to stay away. Picard never had a chance, and he was right when he says, "How do you never gave me the chance to let this kid change my life? You're telling me about all these things that you feared, but you never gave me a chance."
Wrongs,
yeah, to change all that. Had I known, and I understand what you're saying. How, if you knew you have a son, maybe you retire. Maybe you take that admiral's job a lot sooner than you did, instead of waiting until you're 184 to take it. Maybe you take a desk job where you're not as in any line of danger. Maybe you quit Starfleet and just retire to the vineyard with her. He never got that chance to make that decision. And two, now her other reason was a little bit more solid as far as with the name John Luke Picard. You're going to have a target on your back, but not really, because he was retired on a vineyard and nobody went after him. I mean, if he's not actively engaged in Starfleet, I don't believe that, because there wasn't a lot of people who had revenge on designs on Picard. Now, is she right as an active admiral, as an active captain, as an active member of Starfleet? Of course, yes. But he never got the opportunity to say, you know what, kids on the way, I need to change my life. He never got that chance. And I don't think that was fair to him. So in my opinion, she was 100% wrong there. What did you think?
I mean, I can kind of agree with her to a point, but however, she probably should have informed him of the child. You know, at least say, "Hey, bro." I mean, she told you know, Jack. So it's like, what the hell? Why not tell you know, Jean-Luc? But I don't know. I feel it would have changed a lot of things. Maybe season 2 of Picard would have been so god awful.
Yeah.
Except
and
for
I still don't like the fact that he's a robot.
End.
I was hoping that was one of the things that having Q around would have solved, as far as him still being a whatever the hell he is. I hated that. I really, 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 really hated that. I was hoping Q would come in and say, you know what? You're flesh and blood again. Here you go. Everything that ailed you, that should have been Q's parting gift to me. What is this synthoid madness? You need to be flesh and blood. And that's what he does, and then he's back. That whole thing is stupid. They never really that was just dumb. That's where I started losing it with Picard. It's just a lot of just I understand I'm watching science fiction in the 24th, 25th century, but at the same time, even Star Trek has been key as far as keeping things relevant and real. And, you're a robot now? We're just going to keep you 94 as a robot? We're not going to make you younger and have you? We're just going to – I mean – and then with Q, that was like the one thing that I would have liked to have had them split the robot up and the human and just merge them and say Q and bye Picard. That hug you gave him at the end of season 2, there you go. Oh, by the way, damn, there you go. I hated that aspect of it. And then every time they bring it up, they make me remember that it actually happened. And I really, really, really hate that aspect of Picard. But everything else, though, I mean, as long as they don't remind me of some of the silliness, I would really have liked to see Will Wheaton this week. this last. I hope there's a surprise and thing. Oh, so I had a brother. And you haven't, because she hadn't talked to him either. I wonder if Will would have to know, because he has access to just about everything. So I'm wondering if he knows. But I enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun with this episode.
Did you check the private chat? I think Stella wants on the panel.
Oh yeah, sure. Here we go. There you go.
Oops, hold on.
Oh yeah, then you
can
tearing
hear
stuff
me.
up. I can hear you. It's just a black screen now, but this is appropriate, I guess.
No, because I haven't found an avatar for my laptop yet. But
No worries.
Beverly, well, hence the plot twist and a different set of writers. So, but second season Picard would have been better. Just a lot of stuff, and I'm happy with what they're doing, and I think they finally have gotten the show Bible fixed for each show. Plus, don't remember, and for those who don't know, Star Trek Discovery is going to end at season 5.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up as our next
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, it's just
so
that's all.
Discovery going away. I ever since the news was dropped, I just keep seeing and hearing some of the dumbest stuff. Oh, they went woke, so they went broke. I'm like, what kind of Cro-Magnon are you? Why are you even commenting on Star Trek when you don't know that whatever before there was the idiotic term woke, Star Trek was doing it in the 60s. So what did they didn't go broke then?
Yes.
So but I don't.
Well, I guess caring for your fellow human being is so anti whatever their personality and their traits are. It is offensive to them.
Yeah, it's anti Star Trek. The reason why Star Trek is going off the air, not going off the air, but is one, okay, it's a streaming show. 5 years for a streaming show is equivalent to 8 or 9 years on network. This is not network TV. I've been hearing people for the last 72 hours say, I wish you could have got 7 years. It's not a comparison, guys. It is not a comparison. Streamers, if you look at the way
7
streaming shows
seasons isn't 7 years. the 5 years of Discovery, I think, has encapsulated 7 years
Yeah,
practically.
2017 is what it came in. So if it ends in 2024, 2025, it's actually 8 years, which is fine with me. It's simple because here's the thing: if you watch the news that's always falling out of Netflix and HBO Max and any of these streamers, you're lucky to get 3 years on some of these series. If you look at Stranger Things, which is watched by a bazillion people, it's getting 5 seasons and that's it. 5 seasons
and
is
how many years has that taken? That I mean, it's not the old standard anymore. Yeah.
Well,
So
there's another thing too: the expense. Making Star Trek: The Next Generation, and Voyager, and DS9 in comparison to what it costs to put on this kind of quality, regardless of whether you feel about the content of this Discovery, it's a really expensive, well done show. So is Picard and Strange New World. They spare no expense. So 5 years is a win for me. I'm happy to have had the 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is that we were lucky to get 7 straight years of a normal network television series with Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and the shortened Enterprise. But 5 years, I think, is good enough time to tell a story. And armchair writers, directors, CEOs of entertainment industries out there, you don't know the industry. And I'm being a little flippant on my own. Yeah, I worked inside the industry. You have no idea how hard these people work. And you think it's very cavalier of you to, say, oh, I could do better. Well, then do better. Go pitch your ideas to a studio. Make sure you copyright the damn thing so no one else steals it on you.
Or Action R get sued by.
You do better. Feel free. Yeah, but I've been following Terry Metalis on Twitter, and he's been fielding a lot of questions. So he has a firm grasp of what's going on. And for those who don't know, he started off as production assistant on Enterprise. So in my opinion, he's living the dream. He started off, on the ground floor at Star Trek, and now he's moved up to showrunner, executive producer, and director. So, and I think we are lucky that we got a guy that knows what works and what doesn't work. And I'm just going to enjoy the ride. It's enjoy things, people. Stop criticizing things. Stop and smell the roses.
Well, they're comparing, like I said, they're comparing it to network TV. And when you're doing network TV, the kind of money via ad revenue and guaranteed cable revenue that's funneled towards the studios who are making these is a lot different. And there's another thing about when you're on syndicated TV or when you're on network TV is once you get so many episodes, you get that volume, you're available for syndication on any type of network, so you have that revenue to justify going forward, whereas streaming you don't. And streaming is subscription revenue, and these streaming shows, every streaming show that anybody loves gets expensive every year because those new people that you got, those first year people aren't first year people anymore. Those people who are going to working on the set, if they've been with you from day one, those guys get more expensive. It's like at any other job, they get pay raises. And sometimes you get to a point, and with Discovery, I don't have an issue because I think that they've told the story that they mainly needed to tell. I think that I'm not leaving. I don't think I'm going to leave Discovery with being wow, I wish I'd have gotten more. I think they've told the story in a way that I'm going to be happy with it.
Yeah, plus one of their shorts is Discovery and, oh God, I forgot the name of the computer already. The AI.
Oh, yeah, the one that's 900 years. It's at the end of everything. I remember that one from WoW.
Yeah, I mean, so Discovery's going to, the ship itself is going to survive. And, the crew will hopefully have gone off to happier retirement someplace. But that ship we could still have access to, so it's there.
Well, and a lot of it's going to, depending on how they wrap it up too. I mean, you could wrap this up with them going back in time. I mean, and the fact that they're
Oh, yeah.
extending the layoff because of the fact that they're shooting, they're finishing production as if this is going to be the last season. So they've changed some things. So I'm all right with it. I had a good time with Discovery. I know I'm going to have a good time with the final year. I think modern day Star Trek owes a lot. We don't have Picard. We don't have Strange New Worlds without Discovery breaking through. There had not been Trek
Very
on TV
true.
12 years. 12 years
Yes.
without Trek on TV. So when it broke through, and then in that season 2 of Discovery where we got Pike and the Enterprise again, and from that demand we got Strange New Worlds, which I think is one of the best Star Trek productions, series wise of all time, and it's only one season. And we're probably brace yourself. We're probably going to get 3 or 4 seasons of that. You're probably not going to get 7 seasons of that either. So
yeah, well, I don't think we need 7 seasons anymore, considering, like I said, it's streaming, and I mean, slightly different show. I mean, 2 years for Mandalorian season 3.
yeah.
And
Sopranos didn't get 7 seasons. It's one of the most popular series on cable history, and it took 18 months in between seasons 5 and 6. So
exactly.
This is reality.
So, considering the 12-year drought of Star Trek, I will take any Star Trek that comes, and the way they have it set up, it sounds very encouraging that at least there'll be something there. And again, thanks to, even with the rough start of Star Trek Discovery season 1, which I still cringe when I think of it, it's led up to all these shows, all these incarnations to figure out how to get back to Star Trek to where it's palatable for the old as well as the new. I mean, I do, as much as it's hard to watch those J.J. Abrams movies. Again, if it wasn't for those, we wouldn't have what we have now.
Exactly. I mean, we're in a good spot when it comes to Trek. And if Paramount is going to cut back, they chose their spot because they have a series that is going to get 5 years. And the card is ending. Strange New World is only in its first season, so they're probably going to have another show ready for when Strange New Worlds ends. But right now, we have enough Trek, and we have animated Trek too that crosses over. I don't watch the animated stuff as much, even though I watch Prodigy.
I haven't seen Prodigy yet because I didn't finish off Voyager, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm hesitant to watch that. But I'll catch up soon, I hope.
Yeah, it's a Voyager. Like I said, there's a lot of Voyager nostalgia that goes back to it. So let's see. Let's go ahead and get to the chat because I know I get caught up. All right, let's see. That's a wrestling question. I'll answer that question tomorrow, Hunter. When we do our wrestling segment of the show. Points for Captain Shaw. Yeah, Captain Shaw actually. He might have saved the ship.
Yeah, he's like, oh, they're fighting it. Find out how they're tracking us.
Yeah, and then I'm glad that Jack Crusher was smart enough to figure that out. All right, hello, William, showing love. How you doing, Jay? Hit the subscribe button. Yeah, hit the subscribe button on both Point Extra Lounge and my channel, which is there you go, right under my name. Just type in Sci-Fi Center. I'm the first, and I think I'm the only one that comes up. All right, 100 meters deep. Strange New Worlds, Picard. So you like, you know what? A lot of people do. I like this particular season of Picard, but I'm pretty sure just based off of what I got out of Strange New Worlds, I'm gonna love Strange New Worlds. That last episode of Strange New Worlds was gripping, man. When the Admiral Pike comes through. So yeah. All right, guys. Let's see. There's still
just let me answer this. Yeah, I did a rewatch of Stargate Atlantis. I don't know if I wanted to go through 10 years of SG-1 because the whole bit towards the end was like pissing me off. But I still have to Stargate Universe.
That the way they handled the Ori should have gotten more time. The Ori storyline should have started after they were done with Apophis. They should have rolled right into the Ori. They shouldn't have done with those Transformer or whatever the hell those stupid things were, and all the other filler stuff. They spent the last 2 years on the Ori, and some of those were the best stories, and then they rushed the ending of it with the stupid movie.
Exactly.
But if the Ori would have gotten 2 more years, the Ori could have gone for a 4-year arc. The Ori were impressive enemies because the Gaul got old. The Gaul got old. They became cliche, but we got 6 years out of them. But the Ori I thought were great, and then they just said, "Oh, we're wrapping it up." But you got 10 years.
I was just like loving Lou Gossett Jr. being there all the time. I was like, "Oh yeah, don't see enough."
I love his last episode though, the Fourth Horseman, or when he's when they show him all those people dying. For those of you who didn't watch Stargate, the Ori had the priors had put a plague on Earth, and it was killing a lot of people, and only a prior could undo it. Lou Gossett, Britak, I think it was his name. Lou Gossett Jr.'s character was part of Teal'c's race, but he went over to Origin and decided to become a prior. They made him a prior. But when they show him all the people suffering and dying, it reminded them of his enslaved race, and all those suffering and dying that he had experienced under the Gaul. So he looks up to him, and this is my favorite scene of that year, because they want him to stop all this. The general, he's like, "If I do this, I'm done. But today I die a free." What was their race?
I can't.
Briat, or something like that.
Britek was the name of
Jaffa.
his
mentor. Today I died free Jaffa, and he gets his staff, and he heals the entire planet. And then because he betrayed the priors, he burns up. It was a cool episode, but I could have used more of the Ori, but oh well, alas. Stargate Atlantis, I loved. Yes, hit like and subscribe. I need to do a membership drive and get my subscribers up. I don't do a lot of controversial stuff, so I don't have the most subscribers on my channel.
But we love you.
Yeah, but I'm building it up slowly, but I'm gonna have to do something nice and clean to get me up to 1,000 so I can get monetized. Damn it! What was that? Brian jumped to. Yeah, he had to be on another stream. He already let me know ahead of time that we were gonna get him to open it up. All right, on Netflix.
Yeah, I've been watching Atlantis on Hulu. And I think most of Stargate is on Prime Video.
Yeah, it's on Prime Video. I think some of it's on Netflix. I'm not real sure. I haven't had to watch it in a while because that used to be Sci Friday's lineup before Sci-Fi Channel went Sharknado and fucked up the whole network. All right, Protest.
Universe only saw the first season of it. I didn't see the second one.
They just really didn't. That was just the wrong show at the wrong time. It only had the one season, and it was at the time where Sci-Fi Channel was changing into, like I said, Sharknado Central. So, how you doing, Fourth? William, how's it going? You're getting? No, I am nowhere fucking close to I'm like 800 subscribers away. Like I said, there's ways for me to do it, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to do those things that you can get. I can get hundreds of
slow and steady progress. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, so I'm I'm far away. I got some things that I'm going to do, but like I said, I'm relatively a new channel. Even though I've only been on YouTube just over a year with Enosh, and it was only a few months ago that I even started with my own channel. So it's it'll get there, but yeah, it's like. I'm going the scenic route.
Yeah, right. Slow and steady.
You need daytime content, or at least shows the build. Yeah, I have shorts that I'm going to build up. I do have a lot of shorts that I am working on. Because I know my movie reviews do really well. Yeah, season 9 and 10 were great. Seasons 9 and 10, the story needed to start in season 7 and 8. That's what needs to happen. So yeah, he agrees with me there. All right. Hi, Glimmering Harpy. How you doing? So yeah, that's we're in a good place with Star Trek. So like I said, a lot of people, like I said, as long as they just continue to make the comparison to the old ways that things were done, and it's just different right now. I mean, to get 5 years on, listen. Mindhunters is, I think, the best thing Netflix has put out. I can't even get a third season of that. I love that show. So I got 5 years of, and the same thing that happened with what was the other show? Oh, Titans. I mean, Titans was a show I didn't think I was going to get a second season of. That show started on a DC Infinite streaming service that could not afford it, and it got 4 seasons. And they get to write their own ending. It's not like you're going to be left hanging. You're going to get an ending to Discovery. You're going to get an ending to these shows. Even Westworld, which I thought it was time for Westworld to go. The way they ended Westworld was a suitable ending for the series, not just that season. So, like I said, I think the 7-year thing, I don't think that model is going to be, unless you're Law and Order or something like that. I think the 7-year model, because a lot of these actors, in many cases, don't want to be locked down that long. And if they get good, they get more expensive. They move on to bigger things. They start doing movies, and it's just it's like I'm not getting. Where's my 4th season of Sherlock?
Oh yeah.
You think I'm ever going to see Sherlock again with Martin Freeman making the kind of cash he makes just for us being a cameo?
They were close to it, and then they stopped.
Yeah, and then you got Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch. You think they're going to BBC is going to be able to shell out the kind of money that they need to bring in?
Yeah, Marvel grabbed both of them and turned into something else.
It sucks, but it is. On the one hand, you're happy for these people, but on the other hand, it's like it's the reality of it is like that's what it is. I am happy. It's not like we're losing Discovery and we have nothing. We literally legit have, in my opinion, could be one of the greatest Star Trek series ever in Strange New Worlds. I love Strange New Worlds, and I love. That Captain Pike and the way he has to deal. I initially was like, dude, I don't want another.
Michelle.
What's up? Hi, Michelle. How you doing?
She needs a little advice.
We're coming up on a month since we lost my dad to a heart attack. I have cried my eyes out for weeks. To which point? It's still new. It's still new.
I'm a year and a half out, Michelle, from my dad passing away, and he lived till 100. It's a roller coaster. There are going to be times you're going to feel okay, and because it's so fresh, you're going to be hurting. Cry when you want to cry. If you don't feel like crying, that's okay too. Everybody's a little different. Everybody processes it a little differently. It is a trauma, but yeah, it's part of your process. As long as, you're feeling okay and you don't want to do any harm to yourself, that's fine. When that starts to ring a bell, I'm just being honest. Ask for help. But yeah, like I said, I'm a year and a half out of my dad passing away. He lived till 100, lived a good life. I knew it was coming. But yeah, I bawled like a baby for a while. And, a bit of your heart, there's a void there. But, it gets filled with other things. And it's not that bad. It's okay to finish crying out, Michelle, because it's going to be about a year or so before you're like found something to cope with it. Because it's like you just have to understand that nothing is forever. People we love, we're all here temporarily. And it's a sad thing, but it's part of life. You have 2 little ones to take care of, one fresh out of the oven. And like I said, little at a time, don't feel bad. But yeah, there's certain times when I feel cried out too, but every now and then I'll do something, hear something, or something will remind me of him. And, I might not cry, but I definitely get teary-eyed and a little melancholy. But yeah, like I said, everyone processes death a little differently.
All right, Michelle, but
So
we're here for you. I mean, like I said, we
yeah,
are here for you. So I mean, sorry for that loss, and that
mhm,
whole cycle of life thing is just tough. But just what we try to do here is try to give you a place to come and escape.
mhm.
Somebody brought up a question real quick. Not to cut anybody off. I don't want to lose too.
Yeah.
I was holding on to chat. Here we go. Sandman season 2 is
Mhm.
confirmed. It's confirmed. It will be hitting on Netflix. Um, let's see.
Do you want to answer this one?
Yeah. Okay. There we go. There we go. After seeing Creed 3, I could see more of Michael B. Jordan with a few more years of experience and a few more movies as a legit top talent. Oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
And that Rocky franchise is in good hands. It's in great hands. So like I said, sorry, Sylvester Stallone. I know. Sorry, I know you. It's not what you wanted, but I don't want to see another Rocky movie with him in it. I think the Rocky story has been told. So yeah, it's we're at that point where if we're going to keep this franchise going, it's got to be refreshing. It's got to be new. Another one of them, Shepard was great. I loved Shepard. I loved the whole thing with
Oh
Shepard.
yeah.
Fire and Jason Momoa. Here's another reason. If you were ever
Mhm.
going to do a continuation of Stargate Atlantis, you got to pay Jason Momoa Aquaman money now because he's a MILF magnet. He wasn't a MILF magnet before. He's a MILF magnet now. So here's another case of as things go on, they get more
Mhm.
expensive, and sometimes you just have to get what you can get out of a show. So Anthony. Oh, here's Anthony.
Yeah.
What
Oops, sorry.
I got?
Here you
Okay,
go.
Anthony. What is the one child actor you get? What is the one child actor that you get at
Oh.
the comic store that is a giant following and sells out your store for signings? I don't do too many signings. I don't do too many signings simply because it's just not cost effective for me. I know a lot of stores out here that do them, probably have
Mhm.
deeper pockets, but and when it comes to my low budget kingdom, like I don't do too many signings. I mean, it because a lot of times you got to bring the person out here. It's the expense doesn't justify it sometimes. And whenever I do get that kind of money together, I'd rather put it back into things and back into the store as far as permanent structures, things like that. So I
Mhm.
haven't done a signing in here other than like Lloyd Kaufman and when we do trauma stuff, which we'll be doing real soon. But no, I haven't done a signing in like almost 13 years, actually 14 years was the last time I had somebody like celebrity wise in the store, and that was like Doug Bradley back when we were doing Hellraiser screenings. So no, I don't have anybody to give you there. All right, guys, that's the
Mhm.
45 minutes of the week. You got any closing thoughts on this week's episode of Picard or the timely conclusion to Star Trek Discovery, Marcella?
No, just like I said, I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm not gonna criticize everything to death because I actually enjoy what I watch every now and then. So
Yeah.
forgive me for not having these wonderful theories outside of, when they said what else did they take from Daystrom? I'm like, lore.
Well,
You
yeah,
know?
that to me, that's not a mystery. I am like, since we know he's here, we
Yeah.
know he's in it. So I'm thinking, like I was telling Brian, that they're all working for him, and the cold is working for him, and somehow Data is still in his memory somewhere, and he's going to end up defeating him. So, but once again, I got a writer
Or
buddy.
there's like like a memory cloud that has Data's, last.
Remember, if you remember Nemesis, you remember that's a very much a possibility. So,
Yeah. Well, they were
all
hoping
right,
for that
guys.
that wacky
Go ahead,
version,
I'm
but
sorry.
oh yeah. Yes, Michelle, congratulations on your Teddy Ruxpin. Yeah, if you have good condition, you keep your toys in good condition, they're worth a lot of money.
Ooh, I
So
can't afford you. If your Teddy Ruxpin's in any good condition, I can't afford it, and my offer would insult you. So sorry.
yeah. So yeah,
All
hold
right.
on to it. Yeah.
Yeah, or sell it to somebody who's willing to give you what the value is.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
would
if you need the money, go for it.
yeah. If I wouldn't sell it to a retailer because we're gonna need to make money off of it. I would zero in on the collector market and find somebody who's actually going to actually want to give you the actual money, it's worth, especially if it's in good condition. All right, for Brian, who had to dip out early to get onto his other scheduled stream, and for Stella, I'm William with the Sci-Fi Center. This has been the Sci-Fi Center Live, Star Trek Weekly, Picard Episode 3, and that Discovery thing. We will see you guys, like a little bit over 24 hours for our long haul overnight show, 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. We'll all see you then.